already liked it. It just started.
They like it. They like us.
It just started. Nobody can't like it.
Waiting for us to jump on.
We on. We live, baby. We live, baby. Click it again. Oh. You keep skipping our thumbnail, make our little thing go down.
That's what I'm saying. I be in a bad spot when I do that.
All right. What's poppin', you guys, and welcome back to another live podcast with your girl AmberDee, two E's, not one.
What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Adam P.
Please say the P, baby.
Back with another pillow talk, man. We talking on the bed again. Pillow talk conversation number. I think it's number 4.
Yeah.
I think it's number 4. We back again. I'm really excited. I'm
really
really excited about our topic. How about you?
I'm very excited. So I would like to, anybody on, I would like to say thank you so much for showing back. I can't even say that clearly. Nobody's on here, y'all.
Yeah.
I was about to, but if you do tune in later, thank you so much for rocking with us, and supporting us. So today, our topic is marriage really worth it? And I think this is going to be a very beneficial topic for people who are not married and who currently think that in order to make it and be happy and be everything you want to be, you got to have that ring on your finger like in real life and hat on paper sign. So I'm excited. You excited?
I'm very excited.
I can't say it.
I said I used to be laid back. I'm sitting up. I need to lay back some.
No, you don't.
I don't be feeling all dorky.
All right. So let's get started. So when we asked, was marriage really worth it? The conversation came up because a lot of times people fight so hard for marriage like it is the end all be all. Like once I get married, I done crossed the finish line. I done ran my 10K race. That's all I ever wanted to do in life. I don't got to do no more. And that's not marriage. So if you decide to get married, the I do's or whatever that may be is just the beginning. And if you don't get married on paper, does that mean you're not really married? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Do you want to keep going or you want me to keep going? How you want to do this tonight?
I think we should do this like this. Before you start jumping into a topic, you always should give your personal experience first. Okay. To give them some context on why this conversation is even relevant to you. Okay. All right. So give them a little context, man. We've been together 13 years. Yes. How did you feel initially about marriage? And then give them the story.
So I am a woman, of course, and I believe that women typically want marriage or desire the marriage thing more than men. Mm-hmm. That is not all cases. I'm just saying typically. And so, of course, like I believed that I was going to get married. I believed that I was going to be a wife, And so when I got with him, because I was younger, that was like, oh, you got to marry me. You got to marry me. And I pushed the objective so hard that I got what I wanted. Let's be clear. I got what I wanted. But once I got it, I really realized that I was pushing him to do something that society wanted me to do rather than what my relationship physically needed. I say that because I didn't see a shift after we got married. Like I believed that marriage, before I was married and I was younger, I believed that marriage was the only way that was going to sustain us long term. I believed that marriage was, if he marries me, oh, he's mine. Like I made it. I ain't got to worry about him. He's blind. Once he get married, for some reason, his eyes go blind. His mind go completely pure. He is God sent in God's form. And that's not realistic. So I think that once we got married and I seen that, yeah, we signed a piece of paper, but you're still the same person you was 24 hours before we did. You still stand on the same principles that you did before we signed that paper. I was pushing you for what I believe was a societal standard of acceptance that I didn't truly need. And so I would tell somebody, I'm not telling you not to get married. If that's what you desire and that's what you really want, go do it. But I would tell you, make sure that you're doing it and you understand what it is for you. Because I believe the only thing that changed now is if we separate I get half of everything. I think that's the only thing that changed. And baby, if we separate, half of everything is gonna be the least of our worries. So, did we really need the paper?
Okay. And I do remember a time in this 13-year journey where you got to the point you said, I don't want to get married no more.
Yeah.
What was the thought? What happened then?
I guess I got older, and I started once you get older, you start seeing other people get married, and you start seeing what marriage is in that way. And I started seeing I'm pushing. I almost was giving him an ultimatum, y'all, at one point. It was like, either you gonna marry me in this time frame or we done. And I never suggest you do that to anybody. I never suggest you do that to anybody because it could not end in your favor. And then you could have lost out on the potential to spend a lifetime with somebody so amazing just because you put a pressure standard in that moment that they weren't ready for. So I just really believe just grow with the person. And if y'all rocking well, y'all doing y'all thing, I don't care if you go tell him, hey, I want to be married. Go put a ring on my finger. If that's just what make you, the ring on your finger make you feel good, let him do that. But I don't think just to pressure him into something, I don't think that's right. But it becomes to a point where we had friends who got married, got divorced. We got friends who, and I mean big weddings, grand weddings. We lit. I mean, everybody was hyping it up like, what is that wedding? Da, da, da. Divorced. We also had friends who got married young, divorced, and then got married to another person. And I don't believe that whether it was the right or wrong decision, it was like, you did all that for what? Then I watched somebody very close to me go through 2 divorces already and pushing for a third. And I offended that person because I told them, like, what are we still doing here? Like, what are we still doing? Why do you need this validation so much? If you're happy and you're being provided everything you need, why are you still pushing that? So when I started changing my perspective and I started seeing the outside world and what marriage I believe truly was, I didn't need that from you anymore. Because I knew he was going to rock me. I knew we was going to be together. So, I mean, it was what it was. But then you decided, I want to marry you. So we got married.
And so if those are your feelings leading up until we got married, what made you say yes?
I would never tell you no.
Okay.
I would never say no to you. If you married me, if you asked me to marry you, that means in that moment, that is something either you wanted to do or you felt like you should do, whether it was sent from God, whether it was from personal experience, whatever it was.
Okay.
And I would never tell you no.
All right. Good then.
And I am a wife. Like,
you are a wife now.
I'm a wife.
You are a wife. You are a wife. Okay. Great perspectives. I love it. And we did see a lot of big weddings, and we saw big divorces.
Right.
So I tweeted something that said, big weddings equal big divorces.
Don't they though?
It was a study. I Googled it, and it was a stat. I forgot. I can't think of it now. I wish I had it prepared, but it was a staggering number that said women who spent over $20,000 on their wedding, it was like 50% got divorced.
That's crazy.
Versus those who spent like $15,000 or less. So it's crazy. So how much you spent on our wedding?
$0.00.
It was real. It was a real, very inexpensive wedding. But it was 5 years ago. We're still married. We're still happily married. So they got the process right. So we got married at the courthouse and stuff like that. They're still married. They're still going strong.
It was really cool of our experience though, because I believe I shouldn't take credit for this, but I'm going to because we're here. I believe our marriage set the standard for people who know what's to come. Because, you know, when you think about a wedding, you think like, oh, I got to have this big grand thing. I got to have this big expensive dress. I got to lay it out to the works and invite all these people. Like, you, in the wedding is for other people. It's not necessarily for you. I get that it's a party. Baby, if you want to have a party, go out to the club after you get married and y'all go get, you know, drunk and turn up for way cheaper than what you could for a wedding. So it was like once we got married, it's cool because now I have women friends who call me and like, I'm gonna get married. Like, I think like we just might do a courthouse thing, and I'm hyping them up. I'm like, and they be trying to play it down because it's like they're embarrassed, and I'm like, for what? They're like, maybe one day we'll have a wedding, but we just really, baby, if you love this person, I know a wedding that was performed by a log. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm not.
Yep.
And if you love a person, I don't care where you do it, how you do it, just as long as you feel like this was a bonding moment for us. This is how we did it. And it's not for anybody else. Once you start bringing in the works of the wedding, first of all, I didn't plan a wedding, so this is just like third-party information. I've heard the wedding planning experience in itself about causes divorces. I hear that it is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been through it, but people say like it's either bridezilla or groomzilla, and you can't agree. The families are talking. People, you causing rift because you can't afford this, you can't afford this, you can invite this, but I don't want to do all that. It's by me and him, and so I would hype up a courthouse wedding. I would hype up a backyard wedding. Go out there and go buy you a white dress from Macy's and go say I do to my man. Like, I would hype that stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, it should be celebrated in that regard. I love that. Okay, so back to the topic question: is marriage worth it? So, I want you to give us some pros and cons.
No, you gotta speak. I feel like you're trying to get out of this one.
I'm just asking some good questions.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask some questions.
Because
you keep asking me.
So we're giving people some pros and cons of being married, because we've been unofficially married, and we've been officially married. So what are the pros and cons of marriage? And I'll give my perspective on marriage.
Well, you go ahead and pop it off.
Pop it what off?
You go ahead and pop it off.
No. Okay, this is what I'll do. This is what I will do.
Okay.
I'll stand on this when I say this. Prior to us getting married, my perspective on marriage was this: signing a piece of paper won't change anything in my mind.
The dynamic
because
of the
we've been living together for 13 years. We already got kids. You know, we do everything together already. So us being official on paper changes nothing. But then I had a mindset shift, a perspective shift.
Okay.
And that perspective shift was this. It was, when you get married, as a man, that's your first, might not sound the best, but that's almost like your first legal asset. What do you mean by that, Adam? I will elaborate on that.
Okay.
What I mean by that is when I say asset, because the last name changes. And when you get married, your wife takes on your last name. It's not saying that you own her, but it shows that you're attached to that person. Like if you start a business, you can put your name of your business on the front door, and that business will be an asset to you.
Okay.
Okay, so as a man, and even dating back to, you can go centuries ago, when men got married, they got married almost on a premise of, I'm marrying you because this is the value you can add to my life. So I'm going to get some land from you, or I get some power, if your daddy got some power, whatever. We get married for that reason and that purpose. Because marriage used to be arranged type of deal. Right? So going forward, fast forward to now, it's like, hey, listen, okay, her last name changed. But now it's like, boy, you got to, if you do this right, you can grow this asset. You guys can help each other build something substantial.
Okay.
All right, that's number one. Now being married on the side of it now, it is a deeper level of commitment in my mind now.
How so?
Because now it's officially signed and dotted on paper. It's like you didn't do this with any other person besides this person. Like the whole names changing and stuff like that, that's a real big thing. You can say what you want, but It's a big thing. And you never did this with anybody, any other girlfriend before now. So it has to be something special and different about it because it hasn't happened before.
What about the repeat offenders?
What you mean?
People who do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Get married over and over again?
Yeah.
I mean, they're hopeless romantics.
Okay.
And they just want to be with that one person, in love with that one person, they believe in it, but it hasn't worked out for them up until this point.
Okay.
And before we got married, it was a point I was saying, multiple wives was a thing, right?
Yes, and what was I saying? Just so you can be clear for the record.
We had discussions of having multiple wives, and you weren't open to it.
Okay, I was about to say, what are you doing on this camera right now lying to these calls? Okay.
I was very big on, hey, listen, like, I think multiple wives would be cool.
That's what he said.
I think it serves two purposes. It'll give you a best friend, like in-house best friend you can, connect with, talk to. And also it'll give you, the man, the option to have more kids inside of his home without putting all that stress and pressure on one person. So that was kind of the premise behind it. But I see now the error of my ways, and being in a monogamous relationship is way better than being in a polygamous relationship.
I told him if he ever desired that and that's what he wanted, baby, I was not going to talk down on him and I was not going to ruin that vision for him. He needs to go get it. It just won't be with me.
Oh,
Well, first of all, I think about the kids we have running around. To think you wanted more than that running around?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It wasn't a thing. But yeah, back to the pros and cons of marriage, though. Give me one pro of being married.
Pro of being married.
One pro.
A pro of being married, I do feel like I have a lifelong teammate. So whether things are up or whether things are down, I feel like I have a person who is always in my corner fighting the same fight with me. And that feels good because I never feel like I have to be alone. And some of these battles are, the devil be busy.
Yeah.
So if I had to fight it by myself, I don't know where my mental space was, but I always feel really good knowing you ain't the only person. People always say like you're not the only person going through something, like everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
But it's good to see somebody right here physically in your face going through the same thing, and we both telling each other, we can make it, we can make it, we can make it. Like it's something about that that's like really, to me.
But I like that. That makes a lot of sense. So give me one con of being married. Everything has pros and cons. Wouldn't you agree?
A con of being married. A con of being married.
I mean, one con of being married. One negative about being married.
The expectation, I would say, of being married. I would say the expectation that is placed on you. We talked about this on day one, if you guys were in that conversation.
Yep.
The expectation to be multiple people, to be thriving and just, really doing your big one in all aspects of life. Because that is the only person that they are with, is with you. That could be a struggle sometimes because it's like, I'm doing my best. And sometimes your best isn't received because in your mind, you're like, but I see more. And it's like, I'm giving what I can give.
I'm doing all I can do. Okay.
So that would probably be a con. Because typically when you're dating, that's not right. But typically people will go out and mix and mingle and build a bear type of woman, if you can say. So like I have this, but when you're married in a monogamous relationship, all that expectation is on you.
That is a good con. I agree with your pros and your cons. And I will add too.
Yes, please.
Are you cold?
I am cold, but it's okay. I got a blanket.
And I will add to that,
it's pillow talk.
Pros and cons wise, I will say a pro of being married is that you got that person, that ride or die in your corner for sure. Because again, it took so much work to get married that you ain't gonna just walk away from it. That's a pro.
Right.
No matter what you're going through, you always got somebody to talk to. Like you should never feel lonely inside of a marriage.
Right.
If I'm dealing with something, my family's dealing with something, I got that person to almost fill in when I can't fill in. Let's say my mama coming to town or family coming over. I got somebody to make sure that things are right for them, and I ain't got to worry about that kind of stuff.
I be killing that job. Sorry, I had to toot my own horn, but go ahead.
Yes, you're an incredible host. So yeah, I think that's a huge pro being married. And I would say I would add to your con, and because something that is a pro can be also a con in the same sense, right?
Okay.
Since con is you can't just pick up and walk away when you want to. if you're just dating somebody and you like go through a rough patch and you just start feeling different about them after a couple of days, you can just stop talking to them and go your separate way, right? You can walk away from it and really, quote unquote, ghost them.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? And ghosting people may not be the best thing for the other person, but maybe best for you.
Right.
But in a marriage, you can't just ghost your marriage. You can't just say, okay, I'm out of it. You never see now. Maybe some people have done it before, but I don't think that.
That's not the norm.
Yeah, it's definitely not the norm. You're not gonna pack up this ghost. There's typically some communication.
Right.
Right? So that obviously that's a con. So it's also could be a pro if you can't leave it just willingly, but also could be a con so you can't just pick up and go.
So
as an individual.
So what is one thing that you feel like you got out of marriage that you didn't get before marriage? If anything.
One thing that I received that I didn't get before marriage, I will say the thing that I received was, it's hard to say, hard to put it in words, because it's not like a tangible thing that I got, because because I do believe like you get married before you actually get married.
Right.
So nothing just automatically changes because you're married now.
Right.
But I will say that the expectation bar was increased for both of us, even for you though. So what I received was you start saying, okay, I am a wife, so I need to make sure I'm checking off the box in all these areas. Because I want to be the best. You say I want to be the best wife that I can be.
Yeah.
You never said I want to be the best girlfriend I can be. That never came out of your mouth. But you always said I want to be the best wife that I can be. All right? So I want to make sure I'm cooking, cleaning, taking care of you. That whatever you need, I want to be that dude. So you say anything about me, you can say, boy, she one hell of a wife.
She doing her thing.
So I would say that's the one thing I received. You're almost like you turned up a level in terms of just devotedness because of the commitment that was made.
I love that. I love that you feel like that's what you received.
That is. That's exactly what I
feel like. I try, so I'm glad that my efforts are received well by you.
100%. 100%. Same thing for you though. Do you got anything different that I changed anyway when you feel like you received something different after we quote unquote got married?
I guess it would kind of be like touching on what you said. I do believe that you got more intentional.
Okay.
In your acts of service and your ability to notice what I'm doing. I feel like maybe before we were married, it was just kind of like you were more nonchalant. And I feel like after we got married, you just started like, wow, okay, I don't know, it was almost like an eye-opener thing from what it seemed like on my side. Like, okay, wow, she is doing this, and this. And I believe that comes along with the commitment level that I got, though. Because I believe before we were married, like most men, I'm not saying you was out there doing anything, but I'm saying, you know, you have an option to do whatever you want to do. And men love to say, I ain't married yet, shoot, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do until I'm married. And I feel like as soon as we got married, you just started being like way more intentional with everything. Like it's almost like I felt like I got your all. Like before you would say like, yeah, you got me, but when we got married, I felt it.
Yeah. And any men that watch this who debating like, is getting married really worth it? Because I have friends who say, what really changed when you get married? And a lot of my other married friends would be like, and that's not how you want, when somebody's asking you about marriage, that's not how you want to respond, because it's not going to entice them or excite them to get married, right? And most times when people say, well, the first thing people say about marriage is, oh man, marriage, it's tough. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
So next time you find somebody married, I want you to ask them, like, how's it being married?
Right.
80% of people are going to say something negative about the marriage.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to say, oh, it's tough, boy. It's a struggle, but you got to compromise, boy. Naturally, right? So back to the premise of it, what made me get married is it meant a lot to me. We're having our second child, my daughter, and while in the hospital, they were talking about if something happened, like, since you guys aren't married, I could make a decision on, like, I guess whether to save my wife or save the baby or whatever. Like, I had no bearing in that decision. And when I heard those words, I don't know. Like, when you hear certain things, something ignites in you. And, like, you say, what? This girl got my second kid. You tell me I can't make whatever decision I need to make? Nah, we ain't going to have that. And literally, as soon as at the hospital, we probably got married like a week after that.
Yeah.
It was very quick after that. Ashley was born exactly like a week. It was a week. I was like, nah, we ain't playing them kind of games no more.
That's why?
100%. That was the reason. Hey, listen, we ain't playing them kind of games no more.
Well, that's scary to know that they said that to you because my mom wasn't there. So who was going to make the decision?
I don't know. Them? They were saying it couldn't be me.
Oh, boy.
I was just a boyfriend, technically.
Oh, boy.
Like, you just a boyfriend. We don't know if you're daddy or not.
Oh, no.
They ain't say those words, but that's what they kind of, I guess from a doctor's standpoint,
right.
That's what they're thinking. So it's like, I was like, what are we doing, Adam? That's like, what are you running playing house for? If you're going to play house, let's go ahead and make it official.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a big thing for me.
Okay. Well, that's cool to know.
You didn't know that? I told you that.
I don't remember that. Maybe you did and I just forgot, but I don't remember that one.
But yeah, that was a big thing for me.
Okay. So I would ask you, when you think about, okay, so is marriage worth it? Do you believe that you should have boundaries during marriage, or do you believe that people should operate their marriage in the capacity that works for them? Or do you think marriage should have a certain standard upheld?
Elaborate. What do you mean by boundaries?
So, you know how you have like some people who are monogamous. You have some people who desire the open life, but they say like they're married. Mm-hmm. You have swingers.
Okay,
like you have so many different types of marriages. Do you believe that disrespects the sanctity of marriage, or do you believe like just whatever floats your boat?
I think marriage is about two people coming together, two individuals coming together. And if both individuals agree on how their marriage should look, then they go with it. But it has to be an agreement. I feel like marriage is about communication and agreement. Okay. So boundaries, I don't think like we should set personal boundaries though. Like, oh, you can't go through my panty drawer or something. Yeah. Or you can't go through my purse, or you can't go through my wallet. Like, I don't believe boundaries are important in a marriage. It's like ain't no boundaries.
Did you notice that when we were playing the game last weekend, I don't even know if you were paying attention, one of the questions were, what happens if you grab a black woman's purse? What should you do? Mm-hmm. And it was 4 options. Mm-hmm. And one of the options was like, go through it or get what they asked for, mm-hmm. And one was like, just bring the purse. Yeah. And that was the answer. And I was like, when I heard the answer, I knew the answer. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, if I tell you, if you ask me, where are the car keys? And I say, they in my purse. I would be shocked, I think, if you brought my purse to...
That could be a non-married question, too. Like, people who aren't married might not be going through somebody's girlfriend's purse. Maybe not. I don't know.
I was shocked. I said, I just don't know. I don't think he would ever bring me my purse to get, like, no car keys or no gum or nothing like that. I think he would just get it.
Yeah, I think I would just get it. But yeah, some people would like that. But yeah, I don't think there should be any boundaries in a marriage, but should there be standards? I think good marriages should be set with a standard, you know, because standards are how you do everything. Yeah. If you don't have a standard for the most important thing in your life, then you are your standards. So certain stuff you shouldn't allow in your marriage, but it's about communication and agreement, because our standard could be different from another person's standards. Like our standard could be, oh no, my man don't clean, he don't cook, I do all that. That's a standard we've set. Right. Other people's marriage could be, no, that ain't the standard. My standard is, we 50-50 on everything and everything. Chores,
we hear a lot of people like that.
Yeah, so I think every marriage should have standards, but everybody's standards are going to be different. That's number one, and that's something very important to understand and know.
I do believe that before you're married, well, it depends what married means to you. I guess that's where we go back. Because if you're married and you say like, to me, marriage was a conversation. Like he said, I believe we're married before we got married. Like we had our time where we were out there living our life, so to say, right? But then when we sat down, that 1 week after we had our time apart, and we sat down, and we said, "Hey, what are we doing? Is it me and you?
Yep.
You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure." Once we had that conversation, I feel like because we committed to each other, like face to face, looking at each other, like, no, we're locked in, we're not, whatever. That was the marriage.
Yep.
So to say. So I don't feel like the paper made the marriage. Now I do think that it's unfair that if you don't want to marry somebody in a form, to be thinking that you have the right to dictate what they do on their own time.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. What are your thoughts on that? Because you can't be possessive over somebody but not want to be possessive over somebody. I feel like if you're not married, I'm not saying you're single, but if you're not married, you don't necessarily get to put the boundaries on me. Like if I have a guy friend and you're jealous of this guy friend.
Yeah.
He's literally just a friend. No, you can't do this, you can't do that. I would probably listen to my husband. Like, okay, like, but I don't know.
Probably listen to your husband, right? It's not a guarantee.
Well, I would listen to. Well, I would listen to you. I would for sure listen to you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, before, for me not to even know if we're gonna be together for real, and you over here trying to dictate my moves and stuff, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't.
I think if you're gonna be possessive, own everything.
Right.
So put your name on it.
Put your name on it. Tap my name.
It gives you more rights in America. In the hospital, give you rights. In tax purposes, give you rights. There's a lot of benefits to marriage that people don't even think about and they don't consider themselves with. But there's like real deal factual information on the benefits of getting married.
You talking about like the legality part of it?
No, the tax purposes is one. Number two is a stat that says married people live longer. There's the constant emotional support that you have in a marriage. There's the social support aspect that you have in a marriage. Like those are certain things that people don't even look at going into it. Like why do you think married people live longer and live happier lives? Based on statistics.
Because they're not by themselves stressing out maybe?
Yeah, number one, if a problem arises, I don't have to deal with that problem by myself. If you're not married, most times you're not going to just share with anybody. Oh, this is what's going on.
Right.
Like I don't have to internalize. I can just share it. And the person that I married, hopefully, is an intelligent person who could give me wise counsel on a situation. So I'm going through life. Because life is full of problems.
Right.
So now you're not dealing with these problems by yourself. And if you're not in I would say, marriage, it's easy for the person to bail and ghost you.
Right.
If you're married and you're committed to it, most times those problems in life for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you go through those problems together. It's like ride the wave together.
Right.
And so you live longer, you live happier, you stress less. Because stress is a leading cause of disease.
That is true.
And if I'm stressing less, that means I have less disease. Which then means I live longer. And if I'm not stressing, I'm happier.
And typically one person or the other, when it's not you, one person or the other is a little bit more conscious, health conscious. So even when you're trying to be run out of stuff, like the other person be like, you running out.
Yeah, and typically people care about you.
Yeah.
Like your other person should care about you. So if you do come into health challenges, your partner's gonna be like, I don't want you to die. So we're gonna change up whatever we gotta change up to make sure you live.
But if you on your own, I don't watch people on their own be sick.
Yeah.
They doing whatever they want to do. We doing whatever they want to do.
Yep. Whatever they want to do. Still, because they're like, you know what makes me feel good? And the flesh is weak. The flesh will give in to all kinds of temptations. If you have no accountability. So I think that's the main reason. So that's a benefit. So you said, is marriage worth it? For that one fact alone, yes, check the box. Marriage is worth it. I live longer.
Now, okay. So you say that marriage is worth it. So I would like to move on to ask you, if marriage is worth it, which you said yes, then what is the importance of hanging around people who are married versus not married?
What's the importance?
Like, do you think that that makes I'm looking for a word. I can't think of the word that it's like on my tongue. But I'm asking, what's the importance? Meaning, do you think that is for the betterment of the marriage, or do you think that doesn't really hold any weight? Having married friends, or people are people.
I don't think it's I believe the company you keep determines the type of person you will become.
Okay. So
if I hang around married men who are committed to their marriage, then I in turn will be even more committed to my marriage. Okay. And you can learn stuff from other men saying, hey, listen, for my wife, like I do this every single day, fortnight. So you'll learn things being around those type of people. Now, do they have to be married for you to learn from them? I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
If they're in a committed relationship and they're actually trying,
right,
like you can learn from them, like how they treat, how they do. So I don't think it's like the end all be all.
Okay.
Now would I rather hang with single people versus married people? Rather hang with married people because not typically, if you're married, you got a partner, and so we can go do things together. Mm-hmm. Like if all my single bros throwing a party or going to an event, and I pull up with you, now it's like 8 dudes there and just you. Well, that's kind of weird, dude. They can't talk freely and be who they want to be. Now, if a lot of my married guys invite me somewhere, most times with the wives too. Yeah. So now me and you can go together. So I would say it's not like a mandatory thing. It helps. I think it will help, but it's not like end all be all. But again, if you're not married though, you don't have certain problems. I feel like, right? So you can't talk about those problems to somebody else.
Give me an example of a problem.
Oh, it could be financial problems. It could be, hey, me and my wife aren't making that much money. We're arguing about money. We're struggling with this thing. Like, I don't know what to do.
You don't think couples argue about that?
But you can just leave as a couple too, though. It's easier to leave.
Okay.
Like, I don't have to have a plan. And, if this guy is broke, if he's a broke, N-word, you can just pack and find somebody else who has money.
It's 3 people on here. Y'all tell me, do y'all think marriage is really worth it? Y'all drop y'all comments in the chat. Keep going.
But yeah, I think having a circle full of married people is only going to help you, won't hurt you. Because again, people have similar problems in their marriage. Right. There's typically 3 or 4 big problems. 1, we struggle to communicate. 2, we ain't physically intimate as much. And 3, we got money problems. Typically the big 3 problems in any marriage.
I will tell you that what I've experienced when I don't have any single friends currently. Not on purpose, just that's how the cookie crumbled. But I will tell you that the thing that I struggled with my single friends when I had them was they live a single life. So it's easy for them to get up and maneuver and go here and go there to their free will, even if they have kids, because they don't have anyone to answer to. They don't have anyone to think about or to worry about. So I'm moving on my own. I'm moving, Yeah. So then when it comes to being married, it's almost like, he fine, he okay, like he be da. So it's cool talking to married people, because married people understand if you hanging out with them, and your husband or your wife call and say, yo, I need you to come on. Stop being crazy. Yeah, I need you to come on. It ain't no issue. It's like, oh, no, I feel you. I'll see you later or whatever. He has a married friend.
I do have a married friend.
It's my cousin. And it's really cool because he's so open and vocal about.
Oh, my dog. Yeah, my dog.
If my wife called me, I gotta go. Or he'll show up to the event and say, I only got 2 hours. So y'all better make it worthwhile. Because I'm telling you, she said I had to be home by this time. And I'm going to be home. And it's not like a demasculating thing. And it's not like he has to try to play it cool or whatever. He's just open and like, listen, that's my wife. and I gotta make sure that my house is good and my wife is happy, so I'm happy. I can hang out with y'all. We could be cool, but oh baby, at the end of the day, I don't answer to y'all, and y'all don't feed me in the ways I need to be fed, so I gotta get back home. So it's cool to hang around those people because I do feel like they understand you more. It's a level of, oh, I get it. If you really respect your partner.
That's the word I was going to say. They understand you and they get it. Mm-hmm. So you ain't gotta have flex, act the type of way. It's like, well, I get it, but you got a wife, I got a wife. They're both home by themselves right now. Won't us to be there. They best friend and left the house, so you know they get back to the crib and it's cool.
We used to have your single friends. Your single friends would say, "Come on, dog, just 15 more minutes." Yeah. Just 30 more minutes. 30 minutes coming to 3 hours.
You gonna leave me like that, dog?
Yeah, and that turned into 3 hours. I'm calling like, all right, bro, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Not saying you got a curfew or anything, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but you can get your little showing up anytime. Like when you ain't married, you got a little girl you messing with. You can hit up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
And she gonna answer.
12 o'clock. Typically, they're gonna be up. You know what I'm saying?
Waiting.
Ready to do whatever. But married time don't be like that.
Oh, don't come home trying to touch me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Good night.
Good night. You ain't finna get no action. So it's definitely different. So do you believe married people should have single friends?
I don't think that you can determine who you connect with. So I think that would just be, you could be missing out on a God sent individual in your life just because you're judging them based off the premises of they're married. If they're married or not. You don't know what could have happened. They could have been engaged, ready to get married, and the person walked out on them. They could have been married, and the only reason why they're divorced, they try to fight for it, but their person, it could be whatever, because a lot of people want love. So I wouldn't discount you and think that I'm better than you just because I'm married and you're not. So I don't think that's how you judge a friendship. But I do believe that if you do have a single friend, you need to have clear communication and very clear line of boundaries. Hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm not doing. This is what I'm with. This is what I'm not with. This is what you can invite me to. This is what you can't invite me to. I've had those conversations like, listen, I can't go to this. Me and one of your homeboys' wives talked about this. Like, you can invite me to brunch, but you can't invite me to the section at 12 o'clock at night. I won't be there. I'm home with my family. Like, you might leave your house at 12 o'clock at night, but I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. So you have to understand, like, you have certain friends that you can invite to certain environments. And I think if you just are okay with being honest and vocal about what type of friend you are, then it works. Like, if you were my single friend, I'm not going to invite you to my married hangout night. There's no need for you to be here. Everybody else is married. You don't need to be single hanging around all these married folks.
So essentially, you punish your single friend for being married.
No, I don't punish. No, I don't punish. I don't think it's punishment. I think it is reading the room almost. Because if you're here, if you're here and we're just all kicking it, somebody has to entertain you. So it could be the wives or it could be the husbands. I don't think you should be able to talk to somebody's husband too long. I'm not talking to your man that long. Hey, you good? Your husband needs something? Okay, cool. If like we bro and sis for real, I'm only talking to you that long when my man is sitting right there. I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm not talking to nobody man that long. I feel like when you leave, sometimes single women or single men don't know how to properly read the room because they have not been in that room yet. They haven't been invited into that room yet. So you can't expect a single person to know how to handle a married person at all times.
What if it's a lot of fun in that room?
What does fun mean?
It's a party. Let's say you throwing a party. People dancing. They get dressed up nice. And so basically what you're saying is your single friend can't come to this event, which means that single friend misses out on the fun, which means that single friend is being punished for not being married.
I would never throw a party and only invite married people.
But you said it could be an event at the house. It could be like a soiree at the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's at my house and it's only...
There's music, you're probably drinking some wine, eating some good food. Even if, let's say our party, it says it's a soiree kickback. They call it.
Where the kickback at?
You know what I'm saying? You got some wine, you got some little music, you got some little games going on, you got some good little food you done whipped up. But then your single friend doesn't get to come feel that energy, partaking the wine sipping or the game playing or the good Cajun pasta that you be whipped up because they're not married, which means it sounds like the single friend is being punished for not being married. It's not what you're saying, but if I'm the single person and you're a married person, and like, dang, I didn't get invited to the kickback. They had good food, good wine, or laughing, playing the gas, seen on TikTok, seen them on Instagram Live. I want to be. I would love to be in that room, but just because I'm not married, I don't get the invite.
If it is only married people here, I would be okay. I can have a direct conversation with my friends though. Like, okay. You're really my friend, so I could be on the phone. Hey girl, what you doing tonight? Girl, let me tell you, girl, throwing this love thing, honey. So I done got a couple of these married folks. We gonna get together. We gonna try to bond on our married stuff. Oh, okay, girl. Oh, okay. What you doing tonight? Going out or having some alone time? Sit in my bed, sit in my. Okay, cool. I'm not punishing you, but I do believe that everybody deserves their environment to be fully comfortable and let loose. I do know some people are very protective over their people, and if they don't know you, and I'm inviting your single self into this room, I don't even know what these married folks going through. I don't even know what they're going through. Yeah. So I might be causing rift and chaos in something that was just supposed to be a nice thing. I think it's okay. That's what's wrong. People don't know how to. People feel like they have to be invited to everything.
Yeah.
Just because you're my friend don't mean you got to be invited to everything. Because again, I believe that there are friends for everything. You are my friend for this. You are my friend for this. We can talk on the phone. I'm still going to check on you, but you may not be invited to this. I'm not hiding it from you, though. We'll have a conversation. I'm doing this. So if you do see it online, you don't feel no type of way, I already called you and hit you up. Girl, let me tell you, we talking. But I don't have any single friends, so luckily this isn't my issue.
That's what I'm asking though, but should you, because moving forward, I'm pretty sure you will meet people who are going to be single. So do you be like, I don't want to even go down that path with you, single friend, because it's not going to work out for the lifestyle that I have? Or do you still embrace them knowing that, hey girl, listen, we can do a lot of stuff together because you ain't got no person?
Well, I think I'm a matchmaker. So if you hang around me and you kicking it with me, I probably just ain't gonna let you be single for too long. Not happily single. Because I want you to have love. I want you to find love. And most people want love. Nobody really want to be single for real. But I hate that it sounds like I'm punishing people because I do understand your perspective of what you're saying. It's just.
I'm just saying I've been in that situation.
When you been a single friend?
No, I've never been a single friend. I've been the friend.
Oh.
I've been the friend who's been quote unquote married technically.
Okay.
Right, whether on paper or not on paper. And sometimes your single friends just don't get it, or they may get it, but that's not their lifestyle. And they try to get you to not convince you their lifestyle is right or yours is wrong. It's a different lifestyle. So they don't even understand. They think they understand from an outside perspective, but they're not in a committed relationship. They don't really know. You know what I'm saying? It's just different.
So I think that goes back to the clear line of communication. And standing on, like, there's certain things that I will let you know what I will do and what I won't do. Now, how you take it is not on me. All I can do is deliver you the information. Now, if you are swayed to say, oh, I don't like how he moving, I don't like how she, do your big one. But if you say, you understand, I just believe honesty and knowing exactly what it is in the beginning just helps out every party involved. But I don't know. I don't even know if a single person would even be attracted to me in this moment because my energy and my aura gives wife. So I don't know. I'm not in the places typically with the single women. So if I come across a single woman, it would have to be God sent because I'm not in the club.
In the club,
I'm not in the club. I'm not at brunch. I'm not out with the girls. I go out with you all the time. So if you up hanging with me, I just feel like my aura speaks wife. And I feel like that's what I'm going to attract because that's what I put out.
Okay.
Energy is heavy and it attracts what you need to attract.
Okay. I think it's like one of those things, like friendship is almost like, I know we're talking about marriage, but it's like when people have those check boxes for their type of person that they want to connect with and get married to. Yeah. Like, he got to be this, he got to be that, he got to be this, he got to be that. I feel like it should be the same check box for friends.
Okay. So you don't think I should have single friends?
No, I'm just saying you should have a like I said, set of standards. It should be a standard set. Like, if I only have a friend, because you always say all the time, a friendship is just a intimate relationship without the intimacy.
Yes.
Same thing, right? We ain't getting intimate, but we got the same, we talk about the same stuff. We connecting emotionally, we connecting spiritually, like we doing all that stuff.
Right.
We just ain't soul time.
Right.
Right? So if that's the case, that same standard should be applied to friends. Like, you gotta bomb, you gotta bomb, you gotta bomb, you gotta bomb. So you gotta be in a committed relationship with my friend. Or you just won't get certain stuff.
Right.
Like, you gotta be on this kind of time. Like, you gotta believe in this kind of stuff. Like, you gotta have this kind of mindset when it comes to XYZ. And I feel like you set yourself up best for a long-term relationship with that person.
And maybe I like that perspective. I'm only gonna say that because I am very trusting when it comes to my friends. Like he said, to me, a friendship is all it is a relationship without the XCX. So I am very involved with my friendships. I care a lot. That's what I mean. I might not talk to you every day because I'm wifing and lifing, but I care very deeply about who you are, your emotions, all that stuff. And so any friend that I've had, if they call me and I'm not home and he home and they call me and they say, hey, I'm right around the corner from your house. I need to sit there while my child is at football. I'm going to say, oh, okay, Adam home, and I'm going to keep going on with my business. I'm not going to think twice about it. But all of them are married, and I know all of their husbands, and I know, like, I'm not saying that doesn't mean something would never not go left, but you got something to lose, they got something to lose. It's like more in check. So I kind of see where you're going with that.
Yeah. If it's gonna be a long-term thing, at this point in life, we're not making like friends just to make friends. Like, we're making a friend, like we bring you to almost like we too grown to have friends. Somebody said that we're too grown to have friends. At this point, we family. So if
I like that.
If we gonna play this game together for the next 5, 10, 15 years,
you gotta have somebody.
I don't have time to dip in and 6 months later, like, boy, I gotta ghost you, boy, because we don't align here.
Right.
It's almost like coming into it, boom, 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 moving that way.
So what if they come in and they say,
interesting,
I've been looking for somebody, like I'm just really struggling. What does that look like?
If I think you're actively trying to find somebody, then I feel like we actively can help you find somebody.
Okay.
But you're going to show them by your actions if you're trying to do that.
Right.
If you're doing like, you still out in the club and you like, I don't know, still thotting and bopping in the DMs and stuff, like, bro, you
got a story every night.
Yeah, boy, I got this whole shot coming in that weekend, boy, I drug and another shot coming in that you really ain't. At this point, you just still playing the field. You saying you want something, but you really don't want that.
Right.
Like, I had a couple friends like that too, say, I want this, I want that, but they don't really want that for real. They talk a good game, but they ain't what they really want.
So I'll tell y'all to wrap this all up because it's 7:55. The question of the night was, is marriage really worth it? And I'll tell you, sitting here on this bed with you right now, being able to have these conversations, being able to talk about all the hot topics and not feel any judgment, not feel like I have to say the right or wrong answer, just feeling like I'm talking to my best friend, marriage is 100% worth it. If you can find this, baby, you done found a good thing.
Man, go find your person and keep your person.
Period.
That's what I'm going to tell you. If you haven't struggled finding your person or you struggling to keep your person, we got a community for you. All right? This goes past this live. We got a community that we're building called High Value Marriage University. All right? And it's a community that is it's a judge-free community. You can come in, you can be vulnerable. So if you struggle with something, bring it to the group. And we do believe that between our 13 years of being married and our coaching experience and that kind of stuff, we can help you in that department. Either, hey, I want to find my person, I'm trying to keep my person, come talk to us, right? Come join the community, because every single day we have education, accountability, we coaching, like over the big 3 issues that cause you to kind of fall out. We have these same conversations inside the community, right? Just to help you strengthen up. and become better in that department. So listen, if you're interested in joining the community, getting you some cool married friends, right? The link is in the description. Click the link in the description, and we'll talk to you deeper, man. Get to know you more. And maybe, you know what? We'll become friends, and we kick it. That'd be cool, too. Lifelong friends. Who don't want lifelong friends?
You gonna end this live?
The live is over. Peace out. Pillow talk. We'll talk tomorrow, same time. Chop it up. I'm gonna hit the power button. Cut it off.
And it didn't work.
That didn't work. Peace out, y'all. Another
Pillow talk with AdamP and AmberDee. And you gotta hit